Dear everyone, today I'm talking on Kundalini meditation. Let's see what Kundalini meditation is all about and why is it not taught as extensively as other meditations are taught. Kundalini is not something you are going to attain it. It's your own forgotten self. It's your own being. The Kundalini is your own life energy, and until you awaken it, it will be in its dormant form, or as called as the coiled serpent form at the lower end of the spine, or also called as the Mooladhara Chakra. If your priorities are focused on making only money, comforts, or getting indulged in your opposite sex, or food, or enjoy the pleasures of getting intoxicated, all these comforts occupy the lower three plexus of a person. That is, your existence is in the Mooladhara or the Swadhisthana or the Manipuraka levels. Of course, your existence here is very much important to lead a well-organized worldly life. But that's not all. The lower levels are the levels where animals exist. But as man, our existence is to become aware of the Creator Himself. The lower levels of existence is the creation level. The higher we rise, we become aware of the Creator within us. And Kundalini meditation makes you aware of this inner consciousness within you. The only difference between man and animal is that man is endowed with the gift of being aware of his own existence, while animals lack it. And when your priorities are just for survival purpose, then it means that you are still in your animal existence state or in a comatic sleep state. And from this sleep state, only if you desire to awaken to a little more higher consciousness state, then you can practice Kundalini meditation. And if sleep is all that you desire, sleep here means that to live only for worldly pleasures, then you may not know how to handle the sudden awakening of Kundalini energy within you. It is sudden awareness, so you have to be prepared to receive it. In Kundalini meditation, awakening is instant. You need not wait for years long, or ages, or even lives to get awakened. It may happen in days, or months, or even as soon as you are initiated with it. Hence, if you are prepared to handle your sudden awakening, then go for it. But you must have an ardent thirst for awakening. And for those who love to be in sleep always, that means to be safe and secure in their lower levels of existence, then for them, God is safe inside idols. But if He is seen walking on streets, you cannot handle Him. You may disbelieve Him, or you may go erratic on seeing Him. So it's up to you to handle that energy. On waking up from your coma state of sleep, you will not be in a fairyland. A fairyland is an imaginative land. On waking up, you will be in a real world. So real that you and God are no more different from one another. Hence, you cannot formulate any moral or ethical code to a true Kundalini meditator. Morality ordained from outside will no more bind him. His morality springs through his being. As Kundalini gets aroused, it becomes a dynamic energy which is both sublime and as well ridiculous. Actually, Kundalini meditation is the most easiest form of meditating, but also it's quite complex. It's easy as such that one need not strain to concentrate on it. Rather, concentration simply happens here. You are instantly sucked inside. And that inside of yours is total abyss. But as it's your own being, you will also enjoy falling into that abyss. It's like falling into a bottomless pit. But you have to be highly adventurous to fall into a bottomless pit. And it's complex because there is no laid path here. You have to carve your own path, as you will be moving from the known dimensions of your existence into different unknown dimensions of your own existence. It's like that as though you are walking in space. Nobody who walked earlier in space have ever left their footprints over there. Or can you leave yours too? It's like the path of the birds. The open space is like the path of the birds. We know that birds fly without paths, and their young ones are not even taught how to fly, or they are not even taught where to migrate, as the parent birds fly off first on their annual migrations. Even science doesn't have an answer as to how birds find their way when they migrate, because when they fly over oceans, they fly without landmarks. And the path of the Kundalini meditation is the path of the birds. Hence, it's very adventurous and mysterious too. So, it's better for those who intently thirst for spirituality practice it, because only they will self-consistently navigate into the unknown dimensions of their own consciousness. And once it is awakened, their awakened energy moves from the Mooladhara to the Svadhisthana, then to Manipuraka, then to Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agna, and then to Sahasrahara. And I'm not going into the details of these centers, but this is how the energy rises higher and higher. And at every level, you enter into a different dimensional world. And you have to keep rising until you expand to the entire universe. Because even beyond the Sahasrahara, there are invisible centers. And there are innumerable meditational practices. But Kundalini meditation gives instant results. But if your emphasis is to lead a very highly moral life, still Kundalini meditation is not for you. Because moral codes of good or bad, positive or negative, or any such logical constraints of your mind, or any such fixed dualities of your own preconceptions have no entry within you. A morality of your order cannot step into heaven. Heaven has its own morals. And if you are flexible enough to modify yourself or to transform yourself, only then Kundalini meditation creates wonders within you. And thank you for listening.